Thank you.
All right, I'd like to call the Cable and Broadband Internet Commission to order. Let's see, introductions. So you want to start at the end there, Peter?
Sure. Peter Stutz, planning manager.
And
Jim Wilson, newbie.
Rob Capone.
Jeff Abrams, Luis Rodriguez.
Gary Lau.
Suzanne Woodland,
All right.
Regulatory Council.
All right.
He needs a pen, so I'll be right back.
Oh, please. All right, so we'll move on. First and foremost, welcome my alternate, Jim Wilson. Glad to have you. All right, just because we're kind of tight in time, we're just going to kind of keep moving. Approval of the minutes for last meeting, which is November 5th. Everybody okay with the minutes? Any problems, questions, concerns? Everybody good?
Motion to accept.
All right, anybody second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. You moving along then? All right, I see this is now Peter's, the overview of the local regulation relating to cell phone infrastructure.
Sure. So I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at the sections that were provided.
Yes.
Relative to wireless telecommunication facilities. It's a section of the ordinance that we don't use a lot, but we typically get.
Maybe that's not in the electronic packet. Do you have an official copy?
Oh, I sent it by email, sorry, but let me give you this copy.
Typically, the applications we get are co-locating antennas on existing infrastructure, and those, if you look at our use tables, we have, they're called satellite dish receivers, which I think this is outdated because now they're more like rectangular. And I guess part of this is maybe we could get, if the commission wanted to help rewrite this ordinance or provide input for updating it, because I think probably a lot of it is maybe out of date.
Yeah.
Typically a brand new tower would not be permitted. It would be permitted on city-owned property. And so the other use tables are, they're allowed, the Ps, we have the Ps districts in our zoning ordinance, but really that's regulated by the PDA. And we notify them whenever we get an application in, just, in case it's they want to know where they're located. Even if it's in the city. And then we have a municipal district table that says we can have new towers on city property, subject to city council approval. And so the typical 42-inch or less size dish or receiver is permitted everywhere. If it's larger than that, or it's a whip antenna that's not more than 30 feet in height, there's a special exception process that goes to the zoning board of adjustment. And that section in the regulations is pretty extensive and has a lot of requirements for an application to the zoning board. I've been here 8.5 years, and we had one, I think in 2023, that was going to be on Constitution Avenue. They applied, but then they withdrew their application. So they went through the process of meeting all the standards for the section here for special exception. But then they withdrew. I guess they weren't going to go forward with it. That's the only one I could find or could remember in my time being here of someone coming forward for a special exception. As I said, typically we get just someone co-locating on existing equipment or infrastructure. The other thing is that within the historic district, freestanding wireless aren't permitted. Concealed are, but they have concealed or camouflage. They have to go to the HCC, or if they're going to be visible, they just go to the HCC.
Why do they have to go to the UCC if it's concealed and
Well, let me see, if it's,
can't even see it like
So just for approval to prove that it's concealed and.
right, just to show where it is, you know, so that they,
really?
So,
actually, some might be exempt, there are some that can be exempt, and that, but that's still signed off administratively.
I'm just curious, you don't need to
Yeah.
go into depth. They're so based in visual.
Right. So again, you know, I don't look at this section often, I had to review it again before here, it's, but we would be open to any input you have on updating it, simplifying it, you know,
So just flipping through there, I don't see anything referring to either front haul or back haul facilities, you know, terrestrial cable joining antennas, you know, permitted antennas. So this would kind of imply this is a strictly wireless, you know, essentially repeaters or something like that, something that would need nothing other than maybe power.
and I'm not an expert in this, so some of those terms.
I was gonna
don't know
say,
what.
I don't think this envisions what you're
Yeah.
talking about, and I think
it looks like they do have like use regulations, so wireless telecommunications facility, amateur radio antenna. Home television, internet access, medical facility, I mean, so like, I don't know what.
Right, those are exempt, I think, right?
These are just like use regulations, just like different facilities permitted and all, and I'm just kind of giving like.
And what,